NFL Draft Day, Alex and I are going to start our own draft of MLB players as if we are starting a franchise and starting it from scratch and building for the future. That is what we are going to do. So, Alex, it is Draft Day. Do you have a team name? I'm going with Benny Bat Flips. The Benny Bat Flips.
What?
I just thought of this.
Why didn't you tell me this?
I
didn't
just
even
thought of
think about it.
Let's go. Alex, you are on the clock. It is Draft Day. We are drafting our dream team. So, Alex, first overall pick, you are on the clock.
This is a no-brainer. With the first overall pick, I select Shohei Ohtani. He is the future of baseball. He has changed the game forever. And if I am building a team around one single player, how can you not go with Shohei Ohtani? He is dominant on the mound. He is in the Cy Young conversation and probably top 1, 2 at this point in the season. He has had an MVP caliber season the last 3 years. Just blasted his 6th home run last night. He's 3-0 in 5 starts with a 0.64 ERA, 38 strikeouts in 28 innings pitched. I mean, we can go on and on about the unicorn and incredible baseball player that Shohei Ohtani is. So, yeah, he is my first overall pick.
All right. I like it. With my first overall draft pick, drafting to Ben's Bat Flips.
Okay. Buddy Ben.
I'm going with Julio Rodriguez. Give me the face of my team for the next 2 decades. This guy is quickly becoming already the face of baseball, one of the faces of baseball. Last year, there's an argument that he had the best rookie season of all time. Julio led major leaguers last year, led rookies in home runs, WAR, OPS, total bases, and the last 5 rookies to lead in all of those categories won Rookie of the Year. Mike Trout, Jose Abreu, Chris Bryant, Aaron Judge, Pete Alonso. And Alex, you might say, that's pretty good territory. Let me do you one better.
Okay.
Julio is one of 4 rookies aged 21 or younger with a 6+ WAR and a 145 OPS plus season in MLB history, joining, listen to this company, Ted Williams, Albert Pujols, and Mike Trout. Julio Rodriguez is the future of this sport. I believe he is the future face of baseball. He is the face of my franchise for the next 2 decades because he's only 22 years old. So though you have the best player in baseball right now, you get him for maybe 10 years. I'll have Julio for 2 decades.
Okay.
This guy had last year arguably the greatest rookie season of all time, doing things that have never been done. 25 homers and 25 stolen bases has never, ever been done in a debut season. He is the perfect face for my franchise. He is the perfect face for the current game of baseball, and I love having him as my number 1 overall draft pick. Julio Rodriguez, the J-Rod Show.
All right.
All right, Alex, you're back on the clock.
Yep. With my second pick, I select Randy Arozarena.
Woo!
I know. I became a huge Randy fan just in the last year. He's obviously the 2021 Rookie of the Year. Just exploded, I think, into everybody's hearts at the World Baseball Classic. But what I love about Randy is he feels like a culture guy. He sets the tone. He's having fun while he plays. He is the full package. And I just think he's a great player who has the kind of swag that can bring a team together and you can rally around a leader like Randy.
All right, I like it. Let's go on to my pick number 2 and joining Team Benny Bat Flips. Ronald Acuna Jr. Give me Ronnie, baby. In his second full season, he almost became the 5th player ever to go 40-40 home runs, 40 stolen bases. I wholeheartedly believe that at some point in his career, he will go 40-40. Let's just think about Ronald's career for a quick second. Year number 1, 2018, Rookie of the Year. Year number 2, 2019, ends up 5th in the MVP voting and hits 42 homers and steals 37 bases. So 3 stolen bases away from going 40-40 in his second season. Then you have 2020, a COVID year. Then you have 2021, the year he gets injured. Unfortunately, he was an all-star, having a great year, on pace to be right on track for about 40-40. Then he comes back, right? Freakishly fast last year, but not himself. This year, we're seeing Ronald Acuña hit around 350. Home runs already are right on track to be what they have been his whole career. This is honestly, if you think about it, the third full healthy season for Ronald Acuña, because I do not believe he was healthy last year. We are seeing that in his play this year. Ronald Acuña is an absolute star. I love Ronnie. I love watching how well he's playing this year, and I want him on my team. He's only 25 years old, and I love starting a team with Julio Rodriguez and Ronald Acuña Jr. That's number 2 for me. Alex,
right.
You're back on the clock.
I'm back on the clock.
3.
And with my third pick, I'm selecting ADLEY RUTSCHMAN.
Yep.
Catcher for the Orioles. He's one of the top catchers in the game right now, and he's only in his second major league season. Now, opening day, do you remember? He went 5 for 5 with a home run. The first player to do so on opening day since 1937. He's batting .278 with 4 home runs, 16 RBI right now. He is the future, and he is going to be the future of my team.
He's also, Alex, the future of Flippin' Bats.
Ooh,
might I add.
Nice tease.
A little foreshadowing.
When's
here.
he coming?
ADLEY is coming on a future episode of Flippin' Bats. I think next Wednesday is when that will be. So keep an eye out for ADLEY, who I wholeheartedly agree is a huge part of the future of this sport. And for him to do what he's doing at the catcher position this year, where he's played in every game, is just mind-blowing. So that's your third pick. With the third overall pick for my team, I am taking Yordan Alvarez. Easy to forget how young Yordan still is, 25 years old and already breaking tons of record. He is the fastest Houston Astro in history to 100 home runs. He beat one of Ted Williams' most impressive record, which is most RBIs in the first 45 games of a major league career. That record stood for 80 years. Yordan is doing what he's doing in not just the regular season. We saw him up close and personal last year, Alex, in the World Series. The hit that essentially won the Astros the World Series against Minter and the Braves. He's clutch. He does it all. He's young. He's one of, if not the best hitter in baseball right now, and still super young. I want him on my team. So I'm going with Yordan Alvarez for my third pick. Julio, Ronald Acuña, Yordan Alvarez.
Love it.
On to round number 4. Woo-hoo! Alex, kick us off for the 4th round.
With my 4th pick, I select Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I'm bringing some more power to this lineup. He is just great on both sides of the ball. As I mentioned, I think a lot of the guys here that I've picked like to have fun. They like to have fun while they're playing, and Vladdy is one of those guys. He's the future, another future face of baseball, who's only 24 years old. He's already a 2-time All-Star, Gold Glove winner, Silver Slugger Award, Hank Aaron Award winner, and was the MLB home run leader in 2021. He was in that MVP battle and conversation. I love the way he plays, and I love having him on my team.
It's a good power threat right there in the middle of your lineup for a long time. And with my 4th pick and the 8th overall pick in the Flippin' Bats draft, I'm going to take Juan Soto. Now, let me just start by saying Juan Soto, before last year, was on pace to do things that have never been done before, and he still is. Let's not forget that Juan Soto is 24 years old. But we were talking heading into last season about Juan Soto at 23 years old being the best hitter in baseball, and talking about him potentially being what would go down as one of the greatest of all time hitters. Now, last year was a bit of a struggle, which is why I believe Juan Soto fell to 8th in this draft. If it wasn't for last year and the start to this year, I believe Juan Soto is going probably 1st or 2nd if you're if Shohei's going first, Juan Soto's right there, right after that. But a bit of a slow last year. But Juan Soto has broken already in his career. Again, he's 24 years old. There's plenty of players that Aaron Judge hadn't even debuted at that point at 24 years old. Juan Soto has had a very established big league career already. So the first few years of his career, he was one of the best hitters in baseball. Broke Ted Williams' record for most walks by a player under the age of 24, which might not sound like the most exciting thing in the world, but it goes to show you the plate discipline this guy has, and it all starts there. And before last season, again, we were saying he's the best hitter in baseball. Has it gone away that quickly? No. It's in there for Juan Soto. He's 24. He'll be fine. He needs to figure out this pitch clock and how to handle the mental warfare back and forth with the pitcher. He's struggling right now, but this guy is going to be a stud in the league for a long, long time to come. And I am pleased that he fell to me with the 8th overall pick in the draft. Give me Juan Soto. So that's through 4 rounds.
Yeah. Our final round.
We're doing 5.
We are.
So the 5th and final round of the draft. Alex, kick us off.
Well, with my final pick, a teammate of your last pick, also a young star, Fernando Tatis Jr. is my 5th overall pick. He's back, baby, okay? I am under the impression and belief that he had learned his lesson. He has done his time. He's not letting the heckling get to him this year. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But once he gets settled in, he has all the potential to be great. And we're slowly seeing that in his first week back in the big leagues. And just a little reminder of how great he was his last full healthy season in 2021. He was in that MVP conversation. He led the National League in home runs. He was 5th in all of Major League Baseball and 2nd in slugging. He's great at what he does on both sides of the ball, on defense, at the plate. He has fun while he's playing, and I think he is going to be a great addition to my team.
Yeah, just thinking about this, like, the reason he was able to go, like, let's be honest. If it weren't for a suspension and his career kept going on the track it was, he would have been a 1st or 2nd rounder. But because the guy got injured and was suspended, I mean, he's still the same baseball player.
Yep.
So, good pick.
Thanks.
On to my 5th and the final pick of our draft. I am going with a pitcher, Spencer Strider, 24 years old. There's not a player on my team older than 25 years old. Spencer Strider last year became the fastest pitcher to 200 strikeouts in a season, beating Randy Johnson's prior record. Now, Spencer Strider didn't even pitch all last year, wasn't a starting pitcher all last year, came up at a certain point and still broke this record. And now this year, we're seeing him have an unbelievable start to the year. He is my choice for the NL Cy Young Award in his 2nd season. He's 24 years old. He's the perfect ace of my staff for a long, long time to come. He took a perfect game earlier this week, late into the game, a no-hitter into the 8th. I couldn't think of a better ace of my staff for a long time to come than Spencer Strider. And here's an interesting stat I saw on Spencer Strider, because we know the guy throws 100. He has nasty breaking stuff. But what makes Spencer Strider so nasty was an interesting thing that I saw. There are 2 MLB pitchers with 98-plus mile-an-hour fastballs that have above-average extension, below-average release height, and an above-average carry on their pitches. Jacob deGrom and Spencer Strider. That is it. Pretty good territory to be in with
Epic
something
company.
like that. So Spencer Strider, my pitcher, my ace of my staff, and that rounds out our draft, Alex. So I went Julio Rodriguez, Ronald Acuña, Yordan Alvarez, Juan Soto, and Spencer Strider. I like your team too.
Oh, I did great.
How do you feel?
Oh, I feel great. I was curious if you were going to take a pitcher, because Ohtani, you get both. So I got that right off the top. And I'm also a little surprised. No Corbin Carroll, especially since you are the driver of the bandwagon.
I am the driver of the bandwagon. But who, like, you're right. I needed a pitcher. And who, like, Juan Soto, Yordan, Ronald Acuña, Julio. That just speaks volumes to the direction the league is going.
That's
I'm
true.
saying. But it was actually
that's why I was like,
it was actually so difficult for me to not
okay.
pick Corbin Carroll as the leader of the bandwagon. But he's in my top 10 for sure.
Okay.
I mean,